As environmental consciousness grows among consumers, companies are jumping on the bandwagon of being green. However, how many of these businesses really uphold their green claims? Greenwashings are activities by an organization that are intended to make people think that it is concerned about the environment, even if its real business actually harms the environment. Many corporations have relied on green consumer interest and stave off criticism with advertising campaigns, distracting attention with green public relations, and denying the impact of their activities or products. TerraChoice Environmental Marketing have categorized greenwashing into the following 7 sins of greenwashing. First is the sin of hidden trade-off, which is suggesting a product as green based on an unreasonably narrow set of attributes without attention to other important environmental issues. Second is the sin of no proof, which are environmental claims that cannot be substantiated by easily accessible supporting information or by a reliable third-party certification. Third is the sin of vagueness, when the claim is so poorly defined or broad that its real meaning is likely to be misunderstood by the consumer. Fourth is the sin of irrelevance, by making an environmental claim that may be truthful but is unimportant or unhelpful for consumers seeking environmentally preferable products. Fifth is the sin of lesser of two evils, when claims that may be true within the product category but that risk distracting the consumer from the greater health or environmental impacts of the category as a whole. Sixth is the sin of fibbing, by making environmental claims that are simply false. Lastly, we have the sin of false labels, which is the exploitation of consumers' demand for third-party certification with fake labels or claims of third-party endorsement. Let's hear what some of the stakeholders have to say about greenwashing in Singapore. Do you think greenwashing is prevalent in Singapore?
Greenwashing is something that you will find in any country. Fortunately, I think that in Singapore it's not as prevalent as it might be in some other places.
In your opinion, do you think that Singapore has a unique style of greenwashing as compared to other countries?
Greenwashing is essentially the same around the world. The whole essence of greenwashing is it involves the falsely playing up environmental credentials to a product.
Here are some examples of greenwashing in Singapore. Singapore Airlines endorses the fuel-efficient claims by Airbus with reference to its Airbus A380. According to Airbus, the A380 is the most environmentally friendly aircraft ever built, with carbon emissions of just 75 grams per passenger per kilometer, which is 17% less than what is emitted by the old Boeing 747s. However, calculations assume that the aircraft will have 525 seats and fly full. Since Singapore Airlines endorses the claims of Airbus, they are greenwashing when they adapt their plane designs to expand the profitable first and business class sections, leaving fewer economy seats, increasing consumers' environmental footprint. Singapore Airlines A380 will produce about 101 grams of carbon dioxide emissions at 80% capacity compared to an average of 97.5 grams for EasyJet. Household products are also commonly misrepresented and guilty of greenwashing. In 2009, the Consumers Association of Singapore, CASE, and the Singapore Environment Council, SEC, conducted a joint survey on green labeling of washing detergents. They found that 5% of washing detergents surveyed have misrepresented in their product labeling that they have been awarded the SEC's green label. The two brands that were singled out are Power Plus Antibacterial from CMM Marketing and Spank Floor Cleaning Solution from Lifestyle Integral, a clothes cleaning detergent and a floor cleaning detergent respectively. The misrepresentation is a breach of the Consumer Protection Act. In response to the misrepresentation, SEC has ordered CMM Marketing to remove all Power Plus products with the green label by 15th June 2009. The use of communication campaigns in green marketing has to be used with care. In 2008, Compass Point Shopping Mall received backlash and was accused of greenwashing. Compass Point shopping mall called for shoppers to spend more to save the environment, and their green contributions would ultimately be rewarded with a car. The advertisement went against the environmental ethics of reduce, reuse, and recycle, said Mr. Lu Deliang, Vice President of an NUS Green Group, which alerted this paper to the advertisement. After penning a letter of complaint to the contest organizer, the advertisement was changed. The false claim by Compass Point shopping mall shows that most green claims by company are not backed by evidence, or the claim will mislead the customers into believing something that is not. On a lighter note, there are still various ethical businesses out there that hold true to their green promises. We have decided to visit the Better Toy Store, an environmentally friendly toy shop, for the store owner's opinion on greenwashing. Can you tell us why you think your business is skewed towards environmentally friendly products?
We are a child business related entity, so since we believe that children is our future, they have the right to good health, and that's why we believe in bringing only environmental friendly products.
So what do you think about greenwashing by some of the Singapore companies?
I think it's quite sad because a lot of money is spent on advertising and marketing on all this promoting that they are green, but they should be actually using all this money to implement practices.
After gaining a deeper understanding of the issue of greenwashing in Singapore, we delved deeper into some of the measures in place to tackle this issue. Under the Singapore Green Labelling Scheme, SEC issues green labels that endorses industrial consumer products that have less undesirable effect on the environment. Through an interview with SEC shed more light on the Singapore Green Label Scheme. As an NGO, what do you think of SEC's role in mitigating the issue of greenwashing in Singapore?
Basically, the SEC role is to create a greater awareness on the issue of greenwashing in Singapore, as well as to educate consumers on how to choose products that have credible endorsements for their environmental friendliness. And we definitely would like to share also what essentially makes a product green.
How effective do you think the Singapore Green Label program is in informing consumers about the product being green?
The Singapore Green Labelling Scheme is itself a very strong endorsement of a product green credentials. It is widely recognized locally and as well as regionally, and it satisfies products by meeting stringent criteria requirements.
SEC also have an office certification program, Project Eco Office, which inculcates awareness, action, and influences change towards sustainable business practices within the office. The Singapore government also has green standard initiatives like the energy label for appliances to certify the green practices in Singapore. However, more could be done. The first recommendation we have would be to set up a government organization for random checks on companies to verify green claims and to ensure upholding of these green claims even after certification. Additionally, this government organization could take part in the Global Reporting Initiative, a reporting framework that is widely used around the world to ensure that the sustainability reports by Singaporean companies have greater accountability. The second recommendation we have is to educate consumers about greenwashing more vigorously. Many consumers are unaware of the characteristics of a product that essentially makes it green and therefore can be easily deceived by greenwashing. We have interviewed 2 consumers to understand their knowledge on greenwashing and green labels. Have you heard of greenwashing?
I have never heard of greenwashing.
Do you think all the green logos found on products are credible?
I want to believe that they are credible.
In my opinion, they are credible because I believe that the companies have undergone certain processes to meet the criteria that the green label wants the company to have before they actually issue their label to them.
Just like them, many consumers are ignorant on the issue of greenwashing and simply believe green claims without any verification. Thus, education is vital. Our interviews with the different stakeholders also revealed that education is key in changing the landscape. Moving forward, what do you think Singapore society can do to be more informed of false green labelling?
We believe that knowledge is empowerment. Singaporeans should constantly educate themselves on the green and environmental issues, and as well as championing credible causes.
So when making a purchase decision, do you think consumers consider if the product has a green label attached to it, or do you think that consumers can differentiate between green and non-green products?
Personally, I do look at products with this green logo or mark like that. But I think at the end of the day, I think it's more towards education. I believe that you have to start young. People need to know that plastic or whatsoever that causes a lot of impact on our, in terms of pollution. So I think kids should start from young on how to protect our earth. So education is very important.
So the next question comes: who should bear the responsibility of educating consumers? Every stakeholder should be willing to step up and emphasize on educating for empowerment. Places like supermarkets can affix posters along the aisles to show which of the many green labels are credible. Our group believes that as long as consumers are well educated, unethical companies will not be able to get away with greenwashing. Concurrently, there should also be increased transparency to make it easier for the growing discerning consumers to ascertain for themselves how true these green claims are. For instance, they should make sure that all information on their green claims and relevant details be made readily accessible to consumers, especially online where most information search takes place for consumers. In conclusion, greenwashing is basically the same all around the world, and there is no specific style in Singapore. However, a point of difference would be the extent of greenwashing in Singapore as compared to other countries. According to a research done by National University of Singapore, 70 to 80% of the products in the United States are claimed to be greenwashed, whereas here in Singapore, it is lesser with a percentage of 20 to 30%. Grey areas must be identified so that no unethical behaviors can take place. Education and empowerment of consumers is key to reducing greenwashing. To sustain the corporate's reputation, companies should balance the conflicting interests of stakeholders and come up with an all-win situation according to the triple bottom line. Everyone will definitely have a role to play in safeguarding the interests of the environment and ensure sustainability.